Right everyone, Shay here. I just wanted to post a quick video on Vernon Philander's retirement. Yeah, so I have to say my initial reaction was a bit of a shame really. He's been an incredible bowler for South Africa over the past 8 years since he made his debut in 2011, that really good series against Australia, which a lot of people remember for Pat Cummins with his Roy the Rover stuff in that Joburg test. To win to level the series for Australia, but Philander in that first test took 5-15 or something crazy in Newlands, and that really was his home. Obviously, it was his home anyway. But obviously, he played for the Cobras, so or plays for the Cobras still. But he obviously knows Newlands like back of his hand, so he loves bowling there. He's just amazing, and I think he'll be terrorising England in the next test as well, from what we saw in Centurion. So, he's still very much got it. To be honest with you, it is a bit sad that he's leaving. I think he's got a lot more to give him. He's 34 years old. I think the way he's bowling, because the nature of his bowling, it's not out fast bowling as we all know. I mean, he's a throwback bowler. He's just, and I think because his action, the speed that he's bowling at is more relying on accuracy and guile and skill. He could continue bowling for a long time. I mean, he's not the most aesthetically pleasing person on the eye, because he's not the most fittest person, I guess, in the team, but he's still been extremely effective with the ball and with the bat to a certain extent as well. He's done well. I mean, I wouldn't call him. People call him an all-rounder. I know he's played at 7. He's batted 7 quite a bit when they've gone with the 5-bowler strategy, but I don't think he ever really was that genuine all-rounder where people can rely on him like a Ben Stokes, for example. I don't think he's ever been in that category. He's an out-and-out bowler, and his batting is pretty decent, and he's effective. I mean, he's averaged almost 25 in his 60-odd test career. But I mean, the reality is he's got 220 wickets at under 22. I mean, that's just incredible, incredible stats. And he's obviously bowled all over the world. I think when he came onto the scene, this kind of, nudge, kind of this medium pace kind of, bowler, bowling at the average 77, 78 miles an hour. You think when he went up, on the flat pitches, subcontinent in particular, he would suffer a lot, but he did actually okay. He wasn't he wasn't out of place completely like some other bowlers. I think of people like Stuart Broad, for example, who's got onto the subcontinent, it's not as effective like Chris Wokes, for example, but Philander's always found a way to be quite economical and quite effective still, even on drier flatter pitches. I think that's what people would have thought initially when he first came to the scene. Like, well, how's it going to fare on flatter strips? Because this guy can only do when the ball's talking, then the pitch is doing something and he can do something with it. But he do something with the ball. But I think it's more than that. I think that he's got an extremely good cricket brain, which has allowed him to flourish and kind of even take on the most aggressive of batsmen that come towards him. I think like people like David Warner, who just treats him with absolute disdain when he could. I think the 16-17 series in Australia, he just smacked him wherever he could. Even 12-13, he went after him because he's like, well, who's this guy? This guy's bowling medium pace. I'm going to treat him as such. But again, he'd always find a way to come back, Vern. So I think he's been. He's found a way, so because of his ability to make the ball talk in all types of conditions, but as I said, his brain, I think, I don't think we hear so much about Vernon Philander as a cricketer. I think I'd love to have heard more from him, but I think if you can sit down with that guy, I'm sure he could probably give you a masterclass in bowling. Because I think that he's been one of the modern, dare I say, one of the modern greats. I said he's bowled only in this decade. Started in 2011, and he's come into a time where batting has become easier, with the review system and bigger bats and shorter boundaries in certain cases, and I think it's just become harder and harder to operate as a bowler, especially a fast bowler with so much cricket as well that's been played nowadays. I think he realised probably he was a long format player. He was never really going to cut it as as a white ball bowler. I mean, there's that incident happened obviously in the 2015 World Cup, which I don't think he would have appreciated. Vern, for New Zealand, that semi-final in New Zealand against New Zealand, in New Zealand as well. But I think that's one of the things I think about when I think of Vernon Philander as an ODI player. He's never really cut it that effective as a 2020 player either. He's very much suits that long, that kind of long format. And I'm going to miss watching him actually, because I'm a purist at heart, and to watch someone with so much skill, make the ball move both ways and just kind of, bewilder batsmen bowling at 75 miles an hour is something that I miss. I do love, don't get me wrong, I love tearaway fast bowlers, absolutely. I love 90 mile an hour bumpers, etc. But to watch someone like him, just this, what I would call a canny operator, do so well for so long, is refreshing in this modern game. So, but obviously now he's decided to go. So, I mean, I can understand why he's saying, obviously, because he's coming to the end of his career. He probably thinks he can kind of pass the torch a little bit. I don't think he can, to be honest with you. I think this is more for his own personal reasons, be completely honest. I think he knows that he's more than good enough to hold his own. I mean, look, in this test match in Centurion, look at the first innings. I mean, just incredible. I mean, even second innings, 20 overs, no wickets, but only conceded 35 runs. He tried up one end consistently when he bowled, just puts more pressure on the batsman, and the first innings he's just unplayable at times. He's fantastic. So, and he made a few runs as well. So, he's definitely got a lot more to give at the highest level. But I guess you're thinking, what, it's gonna be 35 next year. He's got a lucrative contract offer from Somerset, which is, I believe, year by year. But I won't be surprised if he plays for 3, 4, possibly even 5 years in county cricket. I think he could do it if he keeps himself, reasonably fit. He's never going to be the shredded guy, Mr. Six-Pack. But I think he can sort of keep himself reasonably fit. I don't see why someone with his bowling action, the way, how much he needs to physically exert himself on the pitch, I don't see why he can't go for another 5 years. Just a shame it won't be done in, Proteas colours, because I think he can give him at least another solid 2 years, at least, if not more. And they are not going to be able to replace him very easily. I think the people are coming through, Sir Pamela, let's look at the 18 bowlers, Bjorn Hendricks, Dane Patterson, Nokia, the kind of the all-rounders, the fully fledged all-rounders, you could say, in Dwayne Torres and Pablo Guayo. These guys don't touch Vern. They don't touch him. And now losing Stain, obviously Morkel's gone now, and now Vern. They've lost 3 world-class bowlers in 2 years. And that isn't easy. That isn't easy to deal with. So, I just hope that they can recover from this, South Africa, because on my other video I mentioned about Peter Siddle, that was his time to go. There's a battery of fast bowlers there, a nucleus of fast bowlers, with, Stott, Hazelwood, Cummins, and Hazelwood, Stott, Cummins, and Pattinson, sorry. Those 4 with Nessa and these other guys behind. They're fine. Siddle's not part of the team. Whereas with South Africa, Vernon Philander is a key component of that 11, a key component of that 4 or 5 man bowling attack. He's undroppable. You don't think about dropping Vernon, he's your first man on your list. I'd put him ahead of Rabada. I would. I'd put him ahead of Rabada. So for me, just a bit of a shame really. I'd like to see him continue, but it's not to be. So I think Ngidi is one guy who could come in and do well, but I think he's got fitness problems. I think he's carrying too much weight. Need to look at that. I think maybe he need to look at his fitness program, because he's already becoming somewhat of a crock in his first 18 months of his international career, which is a real shame because I think he could do very well for South Africa. But Rabada's can be holding the fort now because let's fast forward a couple of months when this series is over, and who's going to be having in their bowling attack? You're going to have Nokia, you're going to have obviously Rabada, but who else is going to be opening the bowling with Rabada? Is it going to be Nokia? Pretorius? Really? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't think he's anything more than a very much a fourth teamer option. And I think he's contributed with the bat to make it into that team. Because I was surprised. I thought Pep Maguire would get the nod for this test. So them two are jostling for that number seven position. Number 6 to number 7 with the Cockers. Probably the Cockers 6 and Pretorius and Pep Maguire at 7. But they're very much a fourth teamer option. If anything, I'd love to see Pep Maguire develop his bowling, actually, because I think he has more ability with the ball, and I think he could actually develop something more effective at test level. I think he could actually do better. So, yeah, I do think that they're going to suffer. I think they're going to be suffering. I said Sir Pamela, Bjorn Hendricks, Dan Patterson. These guys are nowhere near nowhere near. And if they're planning to replace Vernon with those guys, then SA are going to struggle. You're going to see. So anyway, yeah, disappointed, to be honest with you. But you have to commend what's been a fantastic career. Vernon Philander's been phenomenal for them. So, I wish him all the best. Look forward to seeing him over here, donning the Somerset colours. And yeah, probably terrorising and before the link batsmen all over the country very, very soon, and probably for a long time coming. So anyway, all the best to Vernon Philander. And yeah, anyway guys, if you like the content, guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Please do comment. I really want your comments. I want to see who's out there, particularly from South Africa. Again, if you've got a different take on Vern and maybe you think no, he's good to go, we don't need him anymore, I'd probably strongly disagree with you, but again, don't mind alternative opinions. Obviously, that's what I want to hear other people and what your thoughts are out there. What do you think and what's happened with Vern? Are you bothered? Do you not care? Are you really bothered, really upset? You think he should be maybe persuaded to stay? I mean, I think it's highly unlikely now, massively unlikely in fact, because it looks like he's already signed a contract with Somerset. But is there any chance to keep him on for another couple of years? Because I just think he's got so much more to give. But like I said, anyway, if you can, comment, do subscribe, please. I'd love to, get more people interested, because just the more people, the more comments, the more debates, the better the channel. So yeah, anyway, that's it for me, and I hope to hear from you and see you on the next one. All right, cheers.